What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be discussing the UFC 307 main event. I will do a separate video recapping the full card. It wasn't a great card at all. In fact, it was actually a bad card, I'd say, up until the main event. But we're going to talk about the main event because it was fucking phenomenal. Make sure you guys like and sub before we get into it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the fight. And yeah, let's talk about it. So, Pereira versus Khalil. It's Pereira's head. Should I put myself in the middle like who does it? Like Lucas Tracy, I think? Oh, fuck it. I'm Pereira. I'm Pereira today, guys. Because Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree. What a mother freaking fight. Um, this was a war. I mean, this was one of my favorite fights of the year. Alex Pereira does it again. But this time, honestly, he it was looking a bit shaky. All right. And you know what's crazy is that Khalil Rountree did better than guys like Yuri Prohaska, Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska twice, Jamal Hill. Um, it's just crazy to me. Like I didn't expect him to last as long as he did, but I do think once Pereira found this groove. So let's talk about it. So first of all, the amount of total strikes. 55 from Khalil Rountree. The numbers are so fucking tiny. And 124. Jesus, man. Half of those are from that fourth round. And significant strikes 124, 55. So all of what they were throwing was significant, I guess is what this says. Um over the course of the full fight. I want to see we'll start with the first round because the first round was definitely Khalil's round. No takedowns, which oh yeah, that's another thing. He didn't shoot any takedowns, even though he was almost dead at a certain point. He shot no takedowns. But the first round I thought was Khalil Rountree's round. Even though the stats say that Pereira had the more strikes, it was Khalil's round. Like he was I think what gave Pereira issue, this is just what I think. I literally just woke up. That's why I sound kind of stuffed. I think what gave Pereira issue was the fact that Khalil Rountree was a southpaw. I don't know when was the last time Pereira has faced a southpaw, but Rountree was a southpaw, and because Jamal is orthodox, not conventional. Nobody says conventional except fucking Dominic Cruz. Oh my god, he's conventional. He's boxing conventional. I don't know where orthodox. I think Yuri's orthodox. Jamal's orthodox. Um, so he hasn't faced a southpaw in a while, and I think Khalil being southpaw definitely gave him problems, gave Alex problems, as well as he was a bit shorter because you got to remember Yuri was as tall as him, Jamal Hill was as tall as him, Izzy was as tall as him, but Roundtree's shorter. He's shorter, and he was a southpaw, and he was quicker than not only Pereira thought, than I thought, and the fans thought. I didn't know Roundtree was this quick with the 1-2. Man, he came out strong in that first round. So that definitely stunned Pereira, and I was like, it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. There was points where I thought he was just gonna put out Pereira, man. He caught him with some decent shots. He caught him with some really good shots. A couple left hooks. I mean, Roundtree did amazing the first round, but going into that corner, he looked freaking cooked. Like his hands were on the fucking cage. He looked tired. Um, and them being at elevation could have to do with it. Because Pereira looked a little bit tired too, but he obviously did end up still getting the finish. But he definitely was a little bit gassed as well. And if you remember the last time he fought at elevation, which was against Jan Blachowicz, he was gassed as shit. He was more gassed in that fight than probably any other fight of his career because it was just, I mean, he was getting grappled, so he had to exert himself a lot. But anyways, so great round, great first round for Khalil Rountree. Round two. Now this was a good round for Pereira. Um, a better round for Pereira, but Rountree did catch him at one point. Pereira went for a head kick, which he kept going for the head kick. I don't know why, but he just kept going for the head kick. That's something that I want to bring up. Like over and over, he was spamming the head kick, head kick, head kick, and I don't understand why, but he threw it in this round and he got caught. And he kind of like you know what it kind of reminded me of? Do you guys remember when? And I don't think Izzy threw a head kick in this one, but when Strickland caught Izzy and kind of dropped him for a second because Izzy was like trying to throw some spinning shit and he just got caught square on the jaw. That's what it kind of reminded me of. But obviously Pereira recovered really well. Um, which means Pereira recovered better than Izzy, which means that Pereira is better than. Let me stop. But yeah, I don't want to beat Izzy while he's down right now. He's what is he like? What is he like 1-3 in his last? Anyways, fuck Adesanya. But anyways, Alex Pereira um got caught in this round, but I'd still give it to Pereira. To be honest with you, but it was a pretty close round. But he was looking a bit better, as you can see by the strikes as well. Round three, now this is where he turns it up. This is where he starts turning it up. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think round two is where he cuts open that whatever. Because I brought it up, I think, in one of my videos, or I might have just said it kind of to myself in my head. But Roundtree had like a thing coming into this fight, like a almost like a mouse on his nose, like a bruise or whatever on his nose. And I was like, has he always had that? Like, is it just like a birthmark? I don't know. I didn't know what it was, and obviously not because Pereira split that shit wide open. If you saw Roundtree's face after this fight, it was crazy. But we'll get to that. But he split his freaking nose open, and I think it kind of started in round two, and then just going into round three. And round three is where Pereira fucking turns it up. He's turning it up. He's catching him with that jab. Roundtree is gassed. There's not as much steam behind his shots. He's not blitzing as much. Um, he didn't do as good of a job as I thought he would at checking the leg kicks because the leg kicks, his legs were definitely getting compromised throughout the fight. And I think I might have saw him try to throw an oblique kick um what is it? Is it an oblique kick where I always forget the name of this kick that John Jones throws where he like tries to stomp the knee, which I hate that move. I think it should be banned. If you can't knee a grounded opponent, you shouldn't be able to stomp their fucking knee backwards. I think that's like ridiculous. But anyways, um I think he threw that like one time and it was like in round four. We'll get to round four. But anyways, round three, that's where Pereira starts to turn it up. He's starting to bust his face up. Pause. It was just, it was, yeah, bro. You could, we could smell it as fans, and Pereira could smell it. The ending is coming. And I know the stats are closer on this round, which is kind of ridiculous to be honest. Like I don't really understand these stats. Like round one, they say Pereira threw more strikes. All right, fine, I guess. Round two, they said he threw way more strikes, which is like he almost threw double of Roundtree strikes. So I'm like, I mean, he threw round two was a better round, but come on, double? I don't know. Round three, then they have it close. What the fuck? Like, I don't think these are super accurate. But anyways, round four. So there was no round five, guys. But round four, I mean, you could see here 63 to 11. It was round four is one of the most. Sorry, I should not did coke before recording. Round four is one of the most brutal rounds I think I've ever seen, at least this year. But like in a while, it was wicked. I mean, Alex Pereira was finding this guy like a what is it called? Them those missiles that just lock on to people. Like he was boom, boom. That he was doing this bobbing and weaving shit, which like that's kind of how he got caught against Izzy. If you guys remember when he got knocked out by Adesanya, which I try to forget that. I really do. I don't even think that was real. I think that was AI. But anyways, excuse me. He was kind of like bobbing and weaving with his hands down, but he wasn't in any trouble to be honest. Because first of all, my fucking nose. First of all, Roundtree did not have any steam behind his shots up until this point. Round four, he was done. He didn't have any steam behind his shots. He couldn't freaking see because one of his eyes was like fucking. It looked like fucking what's that guy named Carrie or whatever, that chick. There was blood all over his fucking face. He couldn't see. He didn't have any steam behind his punches, so I wasn't worried. Like there was a point where he threw like three leg kicks, and it was the laziest leg kicks ever. I think this was either in round three or four. He threw like the laziest leg kicks I had ever seen. I'm like, what is this guy doing? I actually think it was at the end of round three. Yeah, and that's when he threw that oblique kick I was talking about earlier, and it was so lazy. I'm like, but anyways, Pereira was lighting this guy up. Um, I also forgot to mention at the end of round three, he clinched him and he threw a couple good knees. He threw like one or two good knees, so that was cool. But round four, this was bad. This was really bad. I mean, he was beating the dog shit out of Khalil Rountree to the point where I kind of like felt bad. I rewatched it this morning. Someone just randomly posted the full thing on Twitter. I was like, holy shit, let's go. I rewatched it before I started recording and kind of felt bad. I was like, this is one of those beatings where I'm like, Jesus, man, like you know what I mean? And yeah, Pereira, he just had him against the cage. He rocked him a couple times, and pretty much the finish was just it was just he was going for the head, and then the body is wide open. Because Roundtree is just like this at this point, and then boom, body shot. Roundtree crumbles down. Pereira doesn't hit any follow up shots. Because he's not a dick. Like you see some of these other fighters, they clearly knocked their opponent out cold, but they still go for follow up shots. It was who was it that just got knocked out? Was it Frivola? I think he just got knocked out by some like French dork. And the guy, he knees Frivola in the face, and then you see the guy is flat out cold, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm still gonna go for three extra shots." I hate when fighters do that. You see he's dead on the fucking canvas. You don't need to throw three or four extra shots. So shout out to Pereira for dropping Roundtree, and he didn't go for any follow up shots because he's a fucking Chad. And yeah, Pereira is what we need right now in combat sports in general, but specifically the UFC. Because if the UFC did not have Alex Pereira, I probably would not be here. Like I would not. Not that I would like kill myself. I mean, I wouldn't be like doing MMA videos because it's like it's terrible. It's really, really bad, honestly. Like the UFC, like this whole card showed me like how fucking bad the UFC kind of is right now. Like there's obviously exceptions like Holloway, Pereira. You know what? I might just do a whole video on this like later because the UFC kind of sucks right now. The UFC kind of sucks right now, but I don't want to be like a complainer or anything, but it's like the highlights for the past couple months are just Pereira fights. Islam's good. He's great. Makachev is good, but he doesn't fight like that frequently. Like I know he does. People say like he only fights once a year. That's not true. He fights about twice a year, but still, it's like I'd like to see him a little more active. You know what I mean? I know he broke his hand. Oh, boo-hoo. I don't care. He broke his hand. Oh, he could fight with one hand, buddy. Come on. Anyways, I'm joking. I'm joking. With that being said, Pereira, this was an incredible performance. I'm glad that like he didn't just knock out Khalil Roundtree in the first round though, because I think I would have felt more like I wasted my time um watching this if he had just put him out in the first round. And I'm glad he had a war. I'm glad he had a back and forth because this is a fight that I'll talk about. Rather, if it was just a knockout, I would have been like, all right, cool. Like he knocked out Roundtree. I probably would have not even done a separate video on it, to be honest. But because it was such a great war, I had to talk about it. I had to give it its own spotlight. Um, what a fight. What a fucking back and forth war. My respect for Khalil Roundtree is absolutely shot up. I actually think, I mean, depending on how he comes out of this fight, right? Because obviously this is a fight and this is a beating that could change somebody, whether it's their chin, whether it's he could just be broken after this. I hope not. I really hope he comes out of this good because I think he beats pretty much a lot of the other top light heavyweights. I think he beats guys like Jamal Hill. I think he beats guys like freaking what's that guy's name? Carlos Olberg or um hell he'll probably do good against an Ankalaev, a Rakic. Yuri, I mean Yuri, I would pick him against Yuri, I think, but it's just Yuri. It's Yuri is just Yuri. Yuri's a weird guy, man. Yuri's a weird guy. But I don't think I could bet against Yuri unless he's facing Alex Pereira. Like to be honest with you, I think if he'll find a way to beat Ankalaev, brother. He'll find a way to fucking Darce choke Ankalaev off his back in like the last minute of the fifth round or something. Like Yuri is weird like that, but I'm glad this was a back and forth. Pereira, incredible performance, a legendary performance, to be honest with you. And that's the thing with Pereira. He's really building a legendary resume. Like, he could get knocked out tomorrow. He could have a fight. He could lose to Ankalaev and retire, and I'd still say he has an all-time level career, man. He's really, really just, I don't want to just glaze him, but, like, he kind of deserves a pause. Like, it's just, he's gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time. And even not like, maybe I'm not talking in terms of like, oh, the accolades or whatever, but just he's one of the best. I don't know what else to say. Incredible performance by Poatan. Pretty good crowd actually. I want to say the crowd was pretty good. Like it was way better than any Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi crowd that I've ever heard. Yet they insist to keep going back there. I mean, we've got 2 weeks of shitty Apex fight nights, right? And then we're gonna be going to, I think, Abu Dhabi. It's like, oh my fucking goodness, can't we just go to like Vegas or California or Miami? Like Max Holloway, he let's say he knocks out Ilia Topuria. He's gonna knock out Ilia Topuria in front of a bunch of fucking. Oh, I'm trying not to say something crazy. You know those? Let me chill. Let me chill. It's just I just hate watching those cards and seeing those dudes in the white fucking dresses on their fucking phones or just walking around like, oh, I'm gonna rage. I got way off topic there. UFC 307 was shit. We'll do a full card recap after this, um, after this video. But this was an incredible performance by Pereira. Amazing heart by Khalil Rountree. He did amazing in those first couple rounds, but when Pereira found them, he found them. He smelled blood in the Shama. And in terms of what's next for Pereira, probably the winner of Rakic Ankalaev. He says he doesn't want to move up yet or down. So he says he doesn't want to move down because Strickland has become his friend, and he doesn't want to take that from Strickland, that DDP fight. I always thought that was kind of ridiculous. Like, why do you want to move back down? You've already won that belt. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna move down, beat DDP, and then what? Just retire the belt, like not retire the belt, relinquish the belt, and then just stay up again. It would just be stupid and dumb. In terms of moving up, he says he wants to stay at light heavyweight for now, which I'm actually really surprised by. I thought like he might be like I might consider moving up to heavyweight now or something, but I think he should fight the winner of Ankalaev versus Rakic. Um, I kind of have Rakic in that fight, but I might just go Ankalaev to be honest, because the UFC script is always right. But I think he beats Rakic. Sorry, I think he beats Ankalaev or Rakic. Whoever wins that fight, I think he beats both of them. To be honest, I do think he beats Ankalaev. Ankalaev is a very plotty fighter. He kind of charges forward. Uh, his legs are there for the taking. You saw it against Jan Blachowicz. His legs are there. You could chew up his legs. That jab to the body, those body shots are going to be there for Alex, and then that hook upstairs, that big fucking nose of Ankalaev is just going to get. He's been talking a lot of shit, Ankalaev. Oh, I kind of hope he beats Rakic so I can see him just get put out cold. And so these people who hate Alex, oh, he never fights any grapplers. Okay, you guys want to say he doesn't fight any grapplers? There's only one grappler he could fight in light heavyweight. That's at the top, and it's Ankalaev. Everyone else is not a grappler. He fought Yuri Prohaska twice. He fought Jamal Hill. He fought Jan Blachowicz. And he won that fight, even though some people say, "Oh, it was a robbery." He won that fight. I don't care what anybody says. You guys are like, he doesn't fight any grapplers. There's no grapplers to fight except Ankalaev. And Ankalaev, if he wins his next fight, is deserving of a title shot, 100%, in my opinion. So I'm sick of this narrative. He doesn't fight any grapplers. There's no grapplers to fight. It's not like it's a grappler heavy division where he's not Habib where he just doesn't want to fight any grapplers. And then when he finally gets booked against a grappler, he pulls out with a fucking pinky injury. No, the guy fucking like. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? I hate that narrative that he doesn't fight any grapplers. Like there's hundreds of grapplers at light heavyweight that are available. There's no grapplers there except Ankalaev. Like, what do you want to fight? Fucking Johnny Walker? Like, what the fuck, dude? Anthony Smith? There's no grapplers at light heavyweight. Anyways, oh, my fucking nose is stuffed. Make sure you guys like and sub. Uh, pretty amazing fight. And Shama, Alex Pereira, he does it again. Hey man, hey man, Alex Pereira, go. Let's fucking go. We're on our way to GOAT status. Honestly, he beats Ankalaev. Maybe he beats another contender. Maybe Carlos Ulberg probably gets a title shot. He definitely beats Carlos Ulberg. No offense, but and then he'll probably move up. So, hey man, he's gonna go down as a light heavyweight GOAT when this is all said and done. Fuck John Jones.